Okay YouTube, don't flag me for saying this, but the reason this guy remained so white for 300 odd years and caused even the green to go pale, it's because no one bothered to clean up after the Gjallarhorn family with the most unfortunate name possible, the Jizen family. Imagine if they're one of the 7 stars with their own Gundam frame, because that's gonna be hilarious. What is going on guys, MJ2005 Gundam here, and today I'm going to be reviewing the P-Bandai high-grade Oltlinde from Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans Gekko. Originally the long-range reconnaissance and sniper unit of the 9 Valkyrie frames, it has fought alongside the Gundam Grammarly in the war and has been passed down the generations in the Jizen family. And it was deployed once again by Jizen to capture Mina Zalfurts from Tanto Temple's custody. The high-grade Oltlinde is made up of 6 runners and a small sticker sheet, and while half of them are entirely original, the build is not unlike the previous Valkyrie frames in the high-grade line, being the straightforward build involving stacking armor pieces onto the frame, made even easier thanks to the pale coloration minimizing nub marks. Otherwise, the new armor pieces don't add a whole lot to distinguish the build from its other brethren, but it was relaxing to experience again thanks to the simplicity. A fully assembled high-grade Oltlinde will yield a decent representation of the mobile suit. Posing as this former Robin Hood of the 9 Valkyries, the white and green color scheme, jester boots, and the feathered helmet makes it look unique, while the asymmetry between the arms is also a nice touch. Stickers are used only for the black on the chest armor and the 2 types of visor stickers, depending on if you want to plaster over the clear visor or enhance it from underneath. However, there are a few gripes that I have with the looks. While the green used in the design has been adjusted from the initial magazine scans for the final line art, the one they used on the kits is a bit too minty. Furthermore, the central chest parts and shoulder armor are all a bit too large, hence the proportions also look a bit off if examined closely enough. There are also hollow bits behind the toes that you might want to fill in. On top of that, I would highly recommend panel lining to bring out the washed out surface detail, while painting in the grey for the circular detail on the sides and back skirts, and white for the forearms and leg pipes. The high-grade Oltlinde looks perfectly fine in a vacuum, but will look irksome once you look into the finer details. Articulation starts with the double ball jointed head, but due to the vertically elongated face, rotations are restricted unless you want to dislodge the mask. The shoulders can swivel up and down, as well as roll and rotate. Both pieces of shoulder armor can raise to allow the arms to move out to the same degree on both sides, while the shield binder can be rotated and adjusted on a double hinge, and the loosely connected ball joint on top of the individual segments of the shield. There's a bicep swivel, double jointed elbows, and ball jointed wrists. The torso can hinge up and down, while the waist can rotate fully. Side skirts are ball jointed at the hip, while the legs can pull off crazy front kicks and some impressive sideward kicks. There's a thigh swivel, double jointed knees, ball jointed ankle armor, around the hinged, ball jointed foot with a moving toe. And finally, the back thrusters can pivot. Altogether, it's the standard Valkyrie frame articulation, though the main limitation is the side skirts. Moreover, while the core structure is very solid on mine, the shield binder falls off a little too easily whenever it has to get involved. In terms of accessories, the Oltlinde comes with an open left hand on top of the pair of holding hands, useful for holding the only weapon it has, the Valkyrie double blade, be it conjoined or separate use. Being repurposed from Dyneslave parts, the blades feature an opening panel each, supposedly for cooling and discharging purposes in the past. The conjoined version sandwiches into the hands with a relatively solid grip, while the separate versions just slide into the hands. Otherwise, apart from the unused hole under the shield binder that is supposedly the remnants of the Dyneslave related equipment, that's all there is. Leftovers include the Grimgirda's head, shoulder, and feet frame parts, as well as the tops of said feet. It's nothing much, but good for backups, I guess. If my past self were to be told that Iron-Blooded Orphans Gekko would be getting more kits despite the unfinished discontinued storyline, I'd be over the moon, especially when we now know that it's the Grammarly and Oltlinde out of all of them. Plus, because the high-grade Valkyria frames are arguably some of, if not the best kits to come out of the high-grade Iron-Blooded Orphans line, I feel like the high-grade Oltlinde drops the ball a little bit. Primarily with the mismatched proportions and colors, as well as the obstructive skirts and extremely loose shield binder, despite the fact that it is a very distinct design amongst the Valkyries while being solid to handle at its core. And if you take the Robin Hood Archer aesthetics away from it, it's just another twin sword user like the Bale, the Grimgerde, and perhaps in the future a high-grade Valkyrie, instead of the recon sniper type it was 300 post-disaster years ago. The high-grade Oltlinde is by every means a decent and solid model kit, but it's just a sort of lukewarm release that can be easily replaced and overshadowed and not worth being charged exorbitantly for. And that's all for me. Thank you for watching, drop a like and comment if you did enjoy the video, subscribe for more content like this, and feel free to follow me on social media with the links down below. That said, take it easy, stay safe, and I'll see you all in the next video. Peace out guys, bye bye.